start, hope that everybody got a chance to see about the eclipse yesterday. I thought that was fascinating. I'd never seen an eclipse before, and I thought it was really interesting. All right, the first item we've got is resolution number R-2410. Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution of the Quorum Court of Garland County, Arkansas, authorizing the Division II Circuit Judge to apply for a fiscal year 2024 Arkansas Administrative Office of Courts, AOC Juvenile Accountability Court Fund grant, totaling $4,125 on behalf of the Division II Circuit Court. There is no match requirement for this grant.
Move for a due pass.
Motion and a second for a due pass. We're ready to go ahead and vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's given a due pass. The next one is resolution number R-24-11, a resolution of the Quorum Court of Garland County, Arkansas, authorizing the Division II Juvenile Judge to apply for a fiscal year FY 2024 Arkansas Administrative Office of the Courts, that's AOC, Supplemental Juvenile Court Fund grant totaling $20,000 on behalf of the Garland County Juvenile Court. There is no match requirement for this grant.
Move for a due pass.
Second.
A motion and a second for a due pass. Any other comments? Any objections? All in favor say
Aye.
opposed. It's given a due pass. Nothing else. We'll move on to ordinances. That's ordinance number O-24-08, an ordinance to establish a special revenue grant fund to be called the Adult Drug Court Opioid Settlement Fund, and to declare an emergency.
Move that we give the ordinance a due pass.
And I'll second it.
Been a motion and a second for a due pass. Are there any comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. It's given a due pass. Appropriation ordinance number O-24-09, an ordinance to amend the 2024 Garland County Budget Ordinance O-2341 to anticipate revenues and appropriate funds in various budgets and for other purposes.
Move for a due pass.
Second.
Motion and a second for a due pass. Are there any comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All yes. I believe that takes care of the business. Now, that may not be a record for what Thomas Anderson has, but that's pretty good for me.
How registration has been going. I've handed out a few handouts here that includes the flyer, that includes a QR code that goes directly to the registration link. And thank you to United Way. They created our registration link again this year. And then there's a second flyer that has the dumpster locations, city and county. And then the third page is the staging sites. Those are in comparison to what we had last year, and I think they worked really well last year. We do have a couple of JPs that have conflicts or that will be out of town, so we just need to kind of discuss on coverage for them. Justice Anderson is still recovering from his procedure, so he won't be as active as he was last year. Justin Myers, I believe he's going to be out of town, and Justice Brown is going to be out of town as well. Is that correct, Justice Myers?
I've actually just got I'm a part of the Knights of Columbus, and our state convention is in Hot Springs that weekend, and we're hosting it. So I can actually be there for the 7:30 a.m. I just can't be there for noon.
At the conclusion?
Yeah, at the conclusion.
Okay.
I can be there at 7:30 to let everybody go, but I can't be. Maybe Ray and I can do a trade-off or something like that.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. So you will be at the kickoff, but you won't be at the conclusion. Thank you. So you will be in town. And then I believe Justice Bright, she may not be there for the entirety, so we just need to kind of discuss as far as us pitching in time to help with coverage. And as far as recruitment and participation, we still will be doing the community service hours 2-for-1. So we've been trying to let the students know because of their requirements with this community service hours that they will be getting the 2-for-1. We have been getting some registrations from the different the school districts, but they don't have a concrete number of how many participants. But right now, as far as registrations, we have about 75 people that have registered. Lakeside football team, they have 50. And then Hot Springs School District has about 20 so far, and then we have several different individuals. But then we do have commitment from other organizations, Teen Challenge, Harbor House, as well as some other school districts, but we just don't have firm numbers yet. So the registrations are picking up. We just need to circle back around and make sure that we do have people that are going to give us a concrete number so we can have an accurate count, so we can have enough supplies to hand out to everyone. And if you can look at that third sheet where we had the staging sites, if you can kind of look at that and make sure that those are adequate and those are the ones that we had last year, and if you have any questions or concerns or if we need to change anything, just let me know. But that's all I had, Judge. I just wanted to confirm on that, and I want to thank Billy for his help and coordination as well. Thank you so much. And I have a copy of this for you as well.
Justice Dixon, do you have supplies for everything? Vests and grabbers? And
That is one thing I wanted to talk about. Last year, we did coordinate with you a date to come pick up the supplies at the courthouse. We just need to decide on a date where we can get everyone to pick up their supplies and take it to the staging site.
I need to kind of figure out how many we need. We've got some supplies left from last year, but we definitely need to kind of figure out how many we're going to need, and we've had a couple reach out to us about helping us with those this year. So if you can give me some good numbers of what you think, I'll get vests and the grabbers and some better bags than we had last year. And some of those, I think we've got several of those little signs that say litter crew ahead. I think we've still got several of those.
Yes, sir. And I also did reach out to Keep Arkansas Beautiful, and they are going to provide supplies again this year. So I got that worked out with them. But the registration, like I said, is looking good. We just need to get a firm count on the numbers. But all the school districts did present an interest. They just need to get a number with us.
Thank you.
Did anyone else have any other groups that I did not mention?
I will get with Superintendent Sean. I'll be with him Friday, so I'll get you some further numbers. Jason, I'll be there for the kickoff that I'll work, so I'll be there for the new.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Did anyone have any questions?
I was just going to say thank you, Justice Dixon, for heading this up. I mean, I really appreciate it. You're doing it all for us with Billy. Yeah, I appreciate both of y'all. And I just say for those of y'all who maybe don't have the school districts from your areas, Lakeside, I'm glad they volunteered again. I'm glad to hear that. Last year they were a part of the saving this woman who had wrecked her car. The Lakeside football team was. So if you can try and get some of the school districts to get their football teams, it's you can say, hey, Lakeside football team's already doing it. So maybe
Yes.
Cutter's football team and Hot Springs and maybe Lake Hamilton. You never know. Mountain Pine, all of them. So Fountain Lake. That's a
That's a great idea to
football
challenge
team.
the other schools.
Yeah, say you know, especially Lake Hamilton with the rivalry, you think that they would want to get out there and volunteer too. So that's just all I had to say. Thank you, Justice Dixon.
Also, I did want to point out that Tanya Burrows with the city, she is helping with this effort as well because the city is doing their clean sweep as well, their spring clean, and they were going to try to coordinate with District 2 Court to see if they can get some people from District 2 to, not District 2, yeah, District 2 Court to participate as well. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Justice Dixon. As always, you're doing a great job with it. We'll talk later this week about numbers and what we need to get coming.
Absolutely. Last year we had 344 participants, so hopefully we can match that, come close.
Absolutely. Call to order the regular meeting of the Garland County Quorum Court. We're meeting on an off night since the eclipse came through yesterday. Hope everybody had the opportunity to see it. It was pretty amazing to me. I actually didn't think it would get that dark, but it did. It was pretty cool deal. Opening prayer tonight will be presented by Captain Brian Brindley, the Corps Commander for the Salvation Army here. Brian, if you'd come forward and lead us in prayer, then join us in the pledge afterwards.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you today to thank you for all the leadership in this room, all the people that are here, and Lord, watching over our county. Lord, we ask that you unite us, leaders and community alike, Lord, in truth, not fear. Lord, as this world today is being led by false information and fear more and more, let us be a beacon of truth, Lord, that inspires the generation behind us. Let us not be just a community of sustainability, but a community of change. Let us not just serve with our mouth, but Lord, let us serve with our eyes in ways that we can see, our ears in the way that we can hear, our hearts in the way of compassion, and our hands, Lord, as we serve you in this community. Thank you for guiding our footsteps, watching over our lives, families, and our community. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Brian. You're welcome to stay with us, or you're welcome to go if you've got something pending. I appreciate you very much. Sarah, would you please call the roll?
Justice Broughton. Here. Anderson. Here. Dixon.
Here.
Young. Here. Bright. Owen. Myers.
Here.
Brazil. Peters.
Here.
McGrew. Here. Hunter.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Rainey.
Justice Brazil texted me earlier and said he had some type of sinus that was getting worse as the day went on. I told him to stay away here because nobody wanted it, so we've already had it, and I'll soon do without it again. Chair will entertain approval of the agenda with the addition of the approval of our audit, our legislative audit that everyone got a copy of. It was omitted from the agenda tonight, but I want to make sure that we visit that.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Dixon, second by Justice Broughton.
Anderson. Or me, but Anderson seconded.
Second by Justice Anderson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. In your package, you had the minutes from the March 11th, 2024 Quorum Court meeting. Chair will entertain a motion to approve those.
Approve those. Second.
Motion made by Justice Hunter, second by Justice Peters.
Sure.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Exhibits A through F. Couple of 4 committee meetings in there, statement of cash operations, statement of cash position. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the exhibits.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Peters, second by Justice Brown. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Committee reports. Ordinance Committee, Justice Owen.
All of the ordinances received a due pass.
Thank you, sir. Environmental Services Committee, Public Works and Buildings, Justice Hunter.
Yes, Judge, we met the 18th, and Exhibit E reflects the meeting.
All right, thank you, sir. Finance Committee, Justice Dixon.
Exhibit D accurately reflects the Finance Committee meetings that took place on April 1st.
Thank you. Human Resources Committee, Justice Anderson.
Judge, we did not meet.
Thank you. Public Health, Welfare, and Safety Committee, Justice Rainey.
The minutes, Exhibit F, reflect the joint meeting, Public Health, Welfare, Safety, and the HR Committee.
Thank you. Information Technology Committee, Justice Young.
Met on March 7th.
All right. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the committee reports.
So move.
Moved.
Second.
Who made that motion? Justice Young, second by Justice Dixon. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. We've got some special presentations tonight, employee service awards. We've got 3 10-year employees and 1 20-year employee tonight. Very thankful that we've had long-term employees and we continue to keep them here and they keep us happy and we do our best to try to keep them happy. Justice Anderson has got some stuff up here and we're going to call you one at a time. If you would come up and bring your significant other up here with you. If you're working at the landfill, your significant other is Billy Sawyer. But we're going to go with Mary Beth Vaughn first. Her significant other would be Rebecca Talbert.
Right here.
Thomas, we'll get it like you want it in a minute.
Okay, first, Mary Vaughn, she's a 10-year employee in the tax collector's office, and I'd like to present you the plaque, and we appreciate the services that you've given Garland County along with the county.
Mary Beth is a valued part of the tax collector's office, and she's always a pleasure to work around. Thank you, Mary Beth, for your continued service here. Next, we have a landfill employee, 10 years of service, Mr. Richard Wynn. Would you snatch Billy Sawyer up and bring him up here, please?
Appreciation for your services here in Garland County. Years, like to present you on behalf of the Garland County Judge and Garland County School Board.
Richard's a go-to guy at the landfill for Billy, and he helps him keep everything rolling out there. Richard, thank you for your continued service. We appreciate it very much. Detention Center, Nathan Burgett.
Okay, Nathan, I'd like to present this certificate of appreciation to you for your services to Garland County, along with this cup on behalf of Garland County Judge, Judge Mahoney, and his time for. Congratulations, great employee.
Nathan does an excellent job at the detention center, and we certainly appreciate him. Nathan, thank you for your continued service for Garland County. One last employee from the sheriff's office. He's not here. Maybe Sheriff McCormick can accept his award for him. It's J.T. Dodge. He has 20 years of service.
Sheriff, on behalf of Garland County Judge, Judge Mahoney, I'd like to present this to you to present to John later on, and just let him know we appreciate his service.
Thank you, Sheriff. make sure JT understands that we really appreciate his 20 years of service for us. All right, we'll move to our resolution. Sarah, would you please read R 2410 by title only?
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution of the Quorum Court of Garland County, Arkansas, authorizing the Division II Circuit Judge to apply for a fiscal year 2024 Arkansas Administrative Office of the Court's Juvenile Accountability Court Fund grant totaling $4,125 on behalf of the Division II Circuit Court. There is no match requirement for this grant.
Move to adopt R
Second.
2410.
Motion made by Justice Brown, second by Justice Peters. Any discussion? I'm sorry? Someone from the court here. Okay. There's someone from the court here if anybody has any questions. If not,
During our Finance Committee meeting of the 1st, I had a couple of questions, and there was no representative here. That was understandable. But Susan did a very good job of answering the questions I had for myself and everyone else within the Quorum Court. I really didn't have so many questions as it was to say that all of the information that was supplied by Cecilia Dyer's court was good information. It gave me an insight into what a caring court can do when you talk about the problems we have in our communities with regard to drugs. It touches just every family we have in one way or another. So my hat's off to you. I appreciate the work you do. I appreciate that you're a caring court. You're not just interested in putting people behind the bars, but you're trying to help people get through some tough times in life and to find the other side. And I think that's a very important service. Thank you.
Judge, I believe she had a representative back there. I don't know whether he wants to say anything.
Mr. Hawthorne is here if you have questions.
if you got any questions, they'll be glad to try to answer them for you, but
I had nothing specific. It
we're
was just
very thankful that you've applied for the grants. It certainly helps out
Yeah.
the county, and certainly helps out your court too. I know you've got a lot of good things going in juvenile court, and we appreciate all the extra time and effort you spend, and the jump program that you've got going, everything you've got. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Moving on.
No other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, R2411, by title only, please, Sarah.
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution of the Quorum Court of Garland County, Arkansas, authorizing the Division II Juvenile Judge to apply for a fiscal year 2024 Arkansas Administrative Office of the Court Supplemental Juvenile Court Fund grant totaling $20,000. On behalf of the Garland County Juvenile Court, there is no match requirement for this grant.
Move for approval.
Second.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Dixon, second by Justice Broughton. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right. Sarah, please read O2408 in its entirety, please.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to establish a special revenue grant fund to be called the Adult Drug Court Opioid Settlement Fund and to declare an emergency. Whereas the Circuit Court Division I judge was awarded an Adult Drug Court Opioid Settlement Grant and would like to establish the fund. And whereas the Finance Committee has previously met and approved this request, now therefore it be enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, Arkansas. Section 1, affirmation. It comes before this court that there is a need to establish an Adult Drug Court Opioid Settlement Grant Fund on the books of the county to track opioid settlement grant revenues made available to adult drug courts through the Administrative Office of the Courts. This court recognizes and affirms the need for such a fund to properly account for and control all such revenues allowed and expenditures made. Section 2, establishment of fund. There is hereby created on the books of the Garland County Treasurer and the books of the Garland County Clerk or Comptroller a special revenue grant fund to be known as the Adult Drug Court Opioid Settlement Grant Fund. The fund number is 3048 and the revenue code is 7017 as assigned by Arkansas Legislative Audit. Any transfer codes, office, department codes, and expenditure codes are to be assigned locally using the county financial management system per the direction of Arkansas Legislative Audit. Section 3, operation of fund, the Adult Drug Court Opioid Settlement Grant Fund is subject to all the normal county budgeting, appropriation, and expenditure regulations of Title 14 of Arkansas Code annotated in the County Financial Management System. In accordance with regulations issued by AOC, the presiding circuit judge of the Adult Drug Court shall use these funds to purchase and provide approved, supportive, and restorative services for the participants of the Adult Drug Court program as outlined in the signed acknowledgement of the receipt of said funds. The presiding circuit judge shall submit an accounting of the use of these funds to AOC on a quarterly basis in compliance with AOC regulations. Section 4, emergency clause. It is found by this court that the receipt of opioid grant funding for the Adult Drug Court is imminent or already received, making it necessary to establish the Adult Drug Court Opioid Settlement Grant Fund in order to properly track the revenue and appropriated expenditures. Therefore, an emergency is declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from the date of passage and approval.
Judge, I move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance O-2408 on its second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Myers, second by Justice Broughton, to suspend the rules and place O-2408 on its second reading by title only. Sarah, please call the roll.
Justice Broughton?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Dixon? Young?
Yes.
Bright? Owen?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
McGrew?
Yes.
Hunter?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Rainey?
Yes.
All right, Sarah, please read O-2408 by title only.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to establish a special revenue grant fund to be called the Adult Drug Court Opioid Settlement Fund and to declare an emergency.
Judge, I move that we place ordinance O-2408 on its third and final reading by title only.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Myers, second by Justice Anderson. Sarah, please call the roll.
Justice Broughton?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Dixon? Young?
Yes.
Bright? Owen?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Peters? McGrew?
Yes.
Hunter?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Rainey?
Yes.
All right, Sarah, please read O-2408 by title only.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to establish a special revenue grant fund to be called the Adult Drug Court Opioid Settlement Fund and to declare an emergency.
Move that we adopt ordinance O-2408.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Myers, second by Justice Broughton. Any discussion?
Just a quick question. This was the grant that Judge DeHome came to us several months ago for a new position. And
This is actually an additional one.
Oh, this is a new-
The
new-
grant,
new
the
one.
first grant came from, I believe, Administrative Office of the Courts, and this is an opioid settlement.
Okay.
And what it allows, Justice Myers, is at the judge's discretion, he can spend money out of here to, let's just say we have somebody that graduates drug court, and the example that he gave me was they graduate drug court and their car breaks down the next day and they've got no way to get to their new job that they just got. So at his discretion, he can spend money out of this opioid settlement to get his car going again so they can go to their job. And so it's, I think it was $21,000. I think it was $21,000, and it's at his discretion. He said he can think of several instances. We don't want someone to relapse back. And so certain things like that is, that would force someone into an uncomfortable situation, might cause them to relapse. So this allows the judges to look at that case and say, well, this person did great while they were in drug court, and we're going to pay for her car to be repaired, and they'll be able to go on. And so I think it's a great deal. I don't know if we can renew it. I'd like to keep it going to try to keep these people from causing any recidivism. I'd love to help them all we could, and this is a great opportunity to do it with this opioid settlement because it's part of what caused the problem in the first place.
Absolutely. It's a great program. Our drug court program and both courts is fantastic, and I appreciate it. I just wanted that point of clarification.
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked about it. Thank you.
Judge?
Yes, sir.
Had a comment. Some of us were here when Judge Ohms came and talked to us about this way back when the lawsuit had just been filed and what could possibly come from it. And when I read the article on the 17th of March in the Sentinel Record, Grant provides safety net for county drug court, I'll admit I completely misinterpreted what I had read, and then I began to parse it again coming up on this meeting. It's a wonderful opportunity. This is a bit broad, but I'm going to say it. The FDA and big pharmacies have made mistakes. bad mistakes, as in the 50s and 60s with amphetamines, where they said they're just fine, and millions of people became addicted to amphetamines because doctors freely prescribed them because they had been told they should. It happened with opioids again, and my first opinion of this article was giving out money to drug addicts to fix a car, and then I thought, no, this society had suffered at their mistake, FDA and Big Pharmacy, of saying these things aren't addictive. And we have a terrible, terrible epidemic that started with pharmaceutical opioids and has evolved into street opioids since they've been restricted properly, finally, the pharmaceuticals. So this is great, and my first interpretation was very knee-jerk, and my revisiting it said, of course this money should go to the people that became addicted, because there was a great societal mistake in putting these opioids out there like they were. And I'd like to co-sponsor this, just to have an involvement in something that moves this along. And yes, I'd like to see it continue beyond this funding if possible.
It puts a tremendous burden as far as discretion on the judge, but the judge knows better than anybody his people that have been through his drug court, and he can recognize those that are trying to do better for themselves. And so once they graduate that drug court, this can carry those people on, and it's very difficult if you are in a situation like that and you're trying to segregate yourself from those that have brought you to a point like that. You have a problem and you immediately are drawn back into those that could help you, but in the wrong way. But I'm proud of Judge Ohm for getting this and seeing it through, and I hope it works out like I believe it will.
People deserve to get some help. Thank you.
Sarah, would you please call the roll?
Justice Broughton,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Bright, Owen,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Peters, McGrew,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Rainey,
Chair will entertain a motion for emergency clause.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Anderson, second by Justice Brown. Sarah, please call the roll.
Justice Broughton,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Bright, Owen,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Peters, McGrew,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Rainey,
I'm sure Judge Young would have been here, but when I left the courthouse, he was still in court. So he's one of those guys that stays early as you can till as late as you can. Chair will entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read appropriation ordinances by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Myers, second by Justice Peters. Sarah, please call the roll.
Justice Broughton,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Bright, Owen, Myers,
Yes.
Peters, McGrew,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Rainey,
All right, thank you, and I'm sure Judge Young thanks you too. 02409 by title only, please.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to amend the 2024 Garland County Budget Ordinance O-2341 to anticipate revenues and appropriate funds in various budgets and for other purposes.
Judge, I move that we adopt ordinance O-24. Oh, all right. We got to suspend the rules, don't we?
All we need is a motion to adopt.
I motion to adopt O-2409.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Myers, second by Justice Dixon to adopt O-2409. Any discussion? Hearing none, Sarah, please call the roll.
Justice Broughton,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Bright, Owen,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Peters, McGrew,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Rainey,
All right, thank you. Under other business, let's address the audit first. All of you should have received a legislative audit in the mail. It was a clean audit. They took a long time doing it this year. It took them quite a while, but it was a clean audit, something we're very proud of. And thank Susan and her team for making sure that all that's done right. And John Howard, they always make sure that everything's done in the proper manner. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the audit from.
So move.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Young, second by Justice Anderson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Thank you, Susan and John. That was a good report. It was clean.
Yeah.
Good job.
Metro Partnership, Mr. Troutman. thank you for being here tonight, Gary. I appreciate you
Thank you,
guys.
Judge. Glad you're feeling better.
I know it's an off night, and it may have
Threw me
interfered
off.
with the city meeting, so I don't know how that.
City
I don't know if
board
it's
at
agenda
4,
night
quorum
or-
court at 6, daily double. I want to thank our two chairs for being here tonight. Got Vince and Jared Zizer here, Vince Signorelli. Got Cole, Hannah, and Jacob from our team, and Chamber Ambassador John Magnus is here. So appreciate their time being here. Thank you for the opportunity to present tonight. It's a busy month, but every month is busy. So we started, since we met on March 11th, Gary couldn't be here tonight. He's got a brother in town, but we spent a lot of time in the schools this month, Chesseville. That day, we've had a career peer review we did with Lake Hamilton and their administration the next day. I want to thank Jack Porter and Cole. Jack spoke to Leadership Arkansas Group, was in town for their Hot Springs stop. Jack about Army-Navy, and Cole about downtown development. Vince led our partnership board of directors meeting. Vicki and I attended the Malvern Hot Spring County Chamber banquet, support our neighbors in regional economic development. Gary and I were back at Hot Springs for a career training education showcase, participated with them. Carol Bales has agreed to be our 2026 chair, and we are doing the research. It's kind of tough since Rita's left the building and all her experience, but Carol may be our first female chair that we've ever had at the partnership, so excited to announce that. Bunch of great things going on in our community, revenue with visitors yesterday, obviously, but spring break, Arkansas, Texas, and Oklahoma, especially big. St. Patty's Day Parade, both big successes for Steve Arison and his team. Hannah and I attended the Village POA board meeting, and I know the judge knows, and Larry, you probably know, but the devastation in the village was just significant, 250 homes, and you could see a path just going down DeSoto.
Drive through there, it's hot, but when it touched down, it just tore trees were like if you spilled a container of matches or toothpicks, and just unbelievable.
We came in the Highway 5 gate to go to the board meeting, but left via 7. And I told people it looked like a massive bowling ball just mowed down pine trees on DeSoto. And that one building, Larry, I think it's, forget the building, but it's right at home, across from the Walmart, just the building next to it completely gone, and it didn't touch it at all, and they shared a wall. But anyway, just want you to be cognizant of that, and they're working hard in the village to get that cleaned up. Cole and I alternated calls with the Arkansas Broadband Leaders Group. I probably don't think enough has been made of this, but maybe a once-in-a-lifetime thing other than the eclipse. We had a team here that's national champions. The National Park College Nighthawks were #1 in the country. And how often do you get to say that about a team? Yeah, we can say that's not part of economic development, but man, it sure is nice to say you had a national champion in something in your hometown. I guarantee it'll be easier to find hot springs in Garland County for a lot of young people now after that. We had an off-site visit with Arkansas Beverage. Want to congratulate our chamber chair last year, Dr. Doug Ross. They're partnering, St. Vincent is partnering with Morehouse School of Medicine in Atlanta. They're going to do residency for a lot of brand new doctors right here in Hot Springs. And what does that mean? That means we get first crack at a bunch of new folks that from all over the country that will come here to do their last part of education. So Dr. Ross has been fantastic. I don't have the stats before me. It was a year and a half ago, but St. Vincent was awarded the top hospital in the whole state of Arkansas. So I think we need to keep that in mind, what we've got here. I believe that was by Forbes or Fortune, and that's why I hate to ad lib. But anyway, it was a very prestigious honor for them. Vicki and I attended the Board of Realtors luncheon where the new ARA, Arkansas Realtors Association president, was a guest speaker. I was trying to be funny last month and told you all I took that workforce test. I took the pre-test. I took the real thing this last month, and it's something. Y'all need to try to take it if you got 3 hours to kill. It's like taking a college final. But I did, in all seriousness, let ACT know that we did that, and they're moving that to their best practices. They suggest that business and community leaders take it. So when we're talking to kids and unemployed folks and veterans about the test, that we actually can talk about it, because we've done it ourselves. I will tell you, it's pretty challenging. I want to thank Judge Mahoney, graced us at Rotary and talked about roads and bridges improvement since our roads now. Straight from there, we had the groundbreaking, speaking of National Park College, for Red Boat Hall. Going to have 180 new students, or room for 180 students on campus for housing there. Want to publicly thank David French. Vince is here with our Majestic Committee, but we're working with David for renderings of the Majestic site. We still have our prospect that we've had, but we want to have a solid plan B, and David is helping with that. And I'm going to be talking to you more in the future. We had a group came in from Indiana, kind of as an afterthought. They had visited Fort Smith and Texarkana and West Memphis, all border towns, coincidentally. But they market your community as if a corporation is sitting here. And for example, I'll say since COVID, Dell, for instance, okay? Dell's obviously in Round Rock or Austin, Texas. But if they allow remote workers, then they let you promote Hot Springs in Garland County and say, hey, you can work for Dell, but you can do it here. And now that we have broadband. So it was a really interesting concept. And the company would frankly not have existed 4 years ago, pre-COVID. But now that, home working and remote, that it's something intriguing. So we want to bring them back to town when everyone's available. Brian Gerke has teamed up with Colliers International. They had their open house. And the big announcement was Amazon. Told y'all, thank you. Just so you can see it from the other side, I came and reported y'all in May of last year and said, I just got home from Atlanta, and boy, do I have some big news that I can't tell you right now, because we had signed a non-disclosure. But I did say, when you know it, when you hear it, you'll know what it was, and that was it. So we were thrilled that they're coming here, thrilled that they've chosen to do business here for this last mile facility, and just appreciate all the cooperation from the county, the city as well. And I think Mayor McCabe said it best, when people in Keokuk, Iowa read the headline, they'll go, wait, what about Hot Springs, Arkansas? Tell me more about that. So it can only be beneficial for all of us. And to alleviate a little concern, a lot of these trucks are going to come in the middle of the night. You're never going to know that they're here. So some folks have been saying, what about traffic? Well, obviously the trucks are going to be delivering. My wife is certainly doing her part to keep them in business. But but the big trucks are going to be coming in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., so they won't affect traffic here. So thrilled with that. The Derby came and went, 60,000 people. Congrats to Oaklawn. Just been a great year overall, despite some early challenges with weather. Last week was really about the schools. We were at Hot Springs High, Gary's alma mater, on Monday. Met with Lake Hamilton. We're getting draft day nailed down. Draft day is suddenly only 8 days away. We have 1,800 kids, 17 schools. We're still trying to add more, and we're shooting for 60 companies. We're doing some last-minute recruiting there. We had a site visit with Sigma Supply, and then we were in Mountain Pine Schools on Wednesday last week, 9th through 12th graders there. Met the new Neil Gladner at U.S. Stations, a gentleman named Aaron Criswell. He's moved here from Las Cruces, New Mexico, going to be a great addition. He's already drinking the Hot Springs and Garland County Kool-Aid, and recorded a couple commercials for our workforce initiative while I was there. So you'll be hearing more about that. And our volume is up at Department of Workforce Services as far as visits for resume help. We did a on-site visit and tour with Window Mart this past Thursday. Cole and I have been in there about 4 times over the years. The level of automation that they've gone to is just incredible. There were a lot of folks, just to make it quick, they were assembling windows by hand pretty much, and there's not much of that going on. I mean, they've really spent a lot of money on automation without eliminating a bunch of jobs, because people still need to operate these machines. Had a good visit. Les Warren and I visited with the Office of Skills Development. Stephanie Isaacs was in town this past week and told us that Cody Waits will be coming back in another position with the state. He was a big loss when he left, so we're glad to get him back. We were at Darrell Mahoney High School Friday talking to the 7th through the 12th graders, and you may, if you don't get the Democrat, you might not have seen it yet. I think it didn't appear in the Sentinel today because there was so much coverage, and rightfully so, about the eclipse, but the advanced story was in the Democrat today if you get a chance, and hopefully you'll read about it tomorrow in the Sentinel. We were pleased to host Randy Zook and the State Chamber for their Progress and Outlook tour, and we always try to do the best we can. We beat Harrison and some others. We had more attendees than they did, but Randy's just incredible, and can't believe he does what he does at his age. We had a site visit today with Allen Tillery Chevrolet, and coming up, Carol Bales, I mentioned before, and Brian Smith will be attending our Mid-South Basic Economic class all next week in Little Rock. Draft day is Wednesday and Thursday at Lake Hamilton, and we'll have the Academic Excellence Banquet Thursday night, honoring the top 5% of high school seniors in Garland County. So that is my report, Judge. Happy to try to answer any questions.
That's one of the best reports I've heard. You've had a very productive month, Gary. I mean, everything you just listened to. You get any sleep in the last 30 days?
No, not really. Last night, but thank you. But April, I appreciate you pointing it out, Justice Myers, that April's really going to be busy. In addition to what we normally do, like all these banquets, we're really trying to get to all the schools. I don't know that we'll make all 7, but we're trying to put our local companies in panels of 4 in front of these seniors. And Gary and I told them point blank, and give you a true story last Friday. We've been doing this since September. We've talked to almost 3,000 kids. We set out to hit the 8th graders because 8th grade is mandatory career development in Garland County. Well, the 10th graders liked it too, the administrators. We've done over half the schools in 9th grade, and most all of them in 11th and 12th as well. So whereas we hit out to hit 7 schools, we wound up hitting, I think we've hit 35 different groups in all. But in talking to these kids the other day, these seniors are 5 or 6 weeks from graduation. So I think we can all, despite our age, we can go back to when we were 17 or 18, and we all had fun and games and enjoyed high school. But man, when graduation came around, that was reality. And so these talks are having a new level of frankness because these kids are staring, being adults right in the face, especially the ones that are going straight into the workforce.
Move to approve the report.
Second.
Gary?
Yes.
Question. First, I had Red Coat group come out to my business the other day and got some dozen cookies I didn't need that were delicious, and a nice picture opportunity, and I appreciate that, and the chamber. How many Amazon hubs are there in Arkansas, these last mile?
Jimmy, I wish I could tell you. I mean, just having lived in Little Rock, I know there's 3 in there's a distribution and 2 others in Pulaski County right now. But obviously I need to brush up. I was telling Justice Myers before, while it's really exciting, I want to save a lot of the hoorah and all that when they actually open. Because we'll have a big event, and hopefully y'all will join us there. But yes, I'll definitely be.
And I want to move that you get a discount for locals for my wife because they're out our door constantly.
I will say this: everyone that I know basically is taking credit, either them or their spouse, for bringing Amazon to town with the volume that
they know our market. That's for sure.
That's right. But thank you for your many years with the chamber, for sure.
Motion made by Justice Anderson, second by Justice Myers to accept the report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Gary, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Good job,
Appreciate
as always. In your packet, you've got an overtime report from January, February, and March. We continue to see extremely high numbers at the landfill. Billy Sawyer's got all the trash he can stand and then some. I'm thankful that they worked this weekend to offset the eclipse. They worked and made sure that we had clean floors and clean trailers coming into this morning. Had good heavy trash this morning, but over the weekend they had a good staff out there that worked Saturday and Sunday, and were able to haul the trash to Bauxite and make sure that we were ready to go this morning, because we were anticipating a lot more than we got, but it was still pretty heavy. Saturday they had a lot to take over there, and then Sunday as well. But Billy, thank you for putting all that together and getting that staff there. And Chair will entertain an acknowledgement of the overtime report.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Brown, second by Justice McGrew. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Disposal of county property, you got a couple vehicles there that were total losses. Insurance company paid us for them and picked them up, took them to the salvage pool after Todd spent countless hours trying to get the equipment off of it that doesn't go with it. He has a lot to do over there. The mechanic at the sheriff's office has a lot to keep up with. And it's not, we've got a fairly new fleet now, so it's not so much that, but anytime one of them's in an accident, you have to take all the equipment off of it, and he strips all the letters off the side of it. It does a lot of work to each one to get rid of it. And Chair will entertain a motion to acknowledge that.
So move.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Young, second by Justice Broughton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Mr. Fleming?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate this moment. In my 56 years in the ministry and with the church, I've always said an informed church is a happy church. So what I want to bring to your attention tonight, and it would be transparency on the part of Garland County. And that is, I've got several areas that I need to bring to your attention over the next few months about transparency. But this one tonight is in regard to the overtime reports. We have the mention each month that we spend X number of dollars for overtime. My proposal tonight, and hopefully with a motion and a second to this issue, is that in our package each month, we will have in this package a printout of where the overtime pay went to. With all of the departments that are mentioned, it would give you a first-hand look, and others, as to where the overtime pay is being dispersed each month. So for sake of transparency for Garland County, I would ask the board tonight to just simply make a motion in a second that you want to be transparent, and you will provide in our package each month a report as to where this money and to whom and from what department the overtime report comes. So do I hear a motion?
Mr. Fleming, I
that
believe
we
we've
be
already got
transparent?
it in the
Sir?
package. I think it's already in the packet.
And Mr. Fleming, they're
On
pulling it
page
up.
36 of our agenda tonight with
Susan's
all of
pulling
the
it up
departments
for
and
you
breakdowns.
right now. There's a breakdown by department in the agenda. I think
Yes.
we started doing that several months ago. I don't know,
Yes,
but
when
it's
we
been
were
going on for a
back in
while.
February is when we discussed this matter of February a year ago. But also, there needs to be a report. I realize that it's by department, but there is no detailed report as to the hours, the time, the pay, where the money, what department the money comes from. I know if it was in a church, someone would ask and address the question, well, now who are we paying this overtime money to? I'd like to know where it goes. So they would be wanting a detailed report. That should be in our package each month as to where the overtime pay is going. So I did receive this month and did an FOIA of the overtime pay. And if I'm right, it showed that for the first 2 months of the year, we paid over $75,000 in overtime pay. Well, if we continue and for lack of staff in these departments, whatever, we're going to be pushing $500,000 or better in overtime pay for this fiscal year. So, for transparency's sake, we need a detailed report such as I received for last month, for the month of February.
Mr. Fleming, your 3 minutes is up.
Okay.
Any old business? Justice Dixon, you have anything you want to add to the cleanup?
No, sir.
Okay, I will reach out to you sometime before the week's over, and we'll try to figure out what all we need to get, and then we'll determine how we're going to cover the slots that the staging areas that don't have anybody. We might be able to get a superintendent or somebody from the school to cover some of those staging areas, and I think some of them had 2 JPs at the staging areas last time, I believe, and so maybe we can get it covered like that, and I can kind of float around and take supplies to somebody that's there if we don't have somebody that can come pick them up. So we'll get it worked out. I'm just thankful that everybody wants to participate in it. It won't be near as heavy this year because we've had our contractor picking up trash, and I hope you can see the difference on the roadways that they've done. I mean, they're doing, and each time they come, they determine, a road that's really heavy, they want to do a little more of it, or one that's not, they want to take it off the list and add one that is heavy. So I'm proud that they're doing the job that they're doing. Anything else?
Judge, I just want to thank Justice Dixon for stepping in for me since I'm not able to do it this year.
She does a good job.
Judge, I move that we adjourn.
I think it's a good idea. Thank you all very much.